This is the final video of the Lost Park Pass videos. During the summertime, Amanda, myself, Miles, and Sweet D, we went and hiked to a place called Timpanogos Cave. It's this amazing cave, and we went there and we kind of filmed our experience. We got permission to show you what we could show you in that cave. And when I don't know why, we edited the video for some reason, it just never came out. So let me show you that video now, the Lost Timpanogos Cave video. Enjoy it. Hello everybody, my name is Chris, and we're gonna hike up to one of the darkest places in the world. What? Yeah, I'll show you. You'll understand once we get there. But we're gonna go up to Timpanogos Cave. I'm gonna take you with me. Let's do this. Look at this mountain right here. We're getting ready to climb up that bad boy. This is it. We are up the Timpanogos Cave National Monument. All right, so we're getting started. It is an hour and a half hike. It's completely on paved road though. There are certain areas that are painted yellow and red. If you get in a yellow and red area, you cannot stop walking at that point. That's a rockfall area, so you have to be super careful. It's also very steep, so it's not super long. It just takes a long time because it is very steep. Let me show you. Here we are walking up there. It's Sweet D, Amanda's mom. There's Miles and Amanda. But it is completely paved like this the entire way. This is our first yellow-red area. You can't stop when walking here because you notice this is like a little rock slide area. So you have to keep walking. But there are benches on the trail. And yeah, so you keep walking on the red and yellow areas. If there's no red and yellow, you can stop and kind of relax. And you'll notice there's a bunch of, this is all red and yellow, the rocks. So we're just gonna keep walking along and enjoying it. As we go, I will also kind of describe to you what we're seeing and the temperatures and the smells.
A what? A leech! Oh, that is terrible.
We're walking along.
That is so scary.
If you guys watch the Yellowstone videos, you remember I got bit by a leech. Miles is now retelling the story. We talk about that leech every day. It's horrible. All right, see, now let's stop. You have a nice little bench. You can sit down and keep going. Okay. Here's the cave. I mean, here's the mountain. You'll notice it's very steep. We've walked up quite a bit. The cave temperature doesn't change throughout the year. I think it's like 45 degrees year round. Okay. Walking up here, it is steep, and you take deep breaths because you just keep walking and walking. I apologize if you hear my breathing. It's just steep. Now, let's talk smells. You can smell pine. These are all these little pine trees. And it's this faint odor of pine. Also, it's quite warm outside. It's supposed to get up to 90 something degrees, but because we're in the canyon, it'll get up to, excuse me, mid 80s. But you still feel a cool breeze come by every once in a while, and that feels amazing. Okay, so this does drop off. Now I'm going to show you something that you only see if your state that you live in has a canyon. If you live in a flat state, you would never have seen this. Do you see those, like the yellow and red balls hanging there in the air? There's one down here as well. Let's see if I find it. Those are markers for helicopters. Those are electrical wires that go across the canyon. They go across the canyon. And if a helicopter ever has to fly in here to pick somebody up, or somebody gets hurt, the helicopter pilot needs to be able to see those wires, but they can't see the wires, so they have those little balls on them to alert a helicopter pilot, hey, be careful, there's electrical lines here. This is really steep down, guys. And we just stopped and got a little water break. We're gonna continue on up this hill. When I say hill, I should have said mountain. This is a mountain. Whoa, look at how cool this is. It says we are 1/4 of the way up. Little sign right there, 1/4.
It's like a little, it's a mini cave. Mini cave.
Yeah, I have to duck down just a little bit.
Pretty cool.
All right, so we are climbing up here. We're right about here.
Mutual formation.
We have to climb up here. This is the Timp cave, right about there.
Wait, we still
This
have
is
quite
what,
a
like,
ways.
look at what Nana was showing.
So this is the mutual formation. Mandy stepped right over and didn't even see it.
I know my mom saw that. I didn't even see it either.
900 million years ago. And then above that is called the Tintac quartzite. And that is 540 million years ago. All right, guys. This is another red and yellow zone. We cannot stop. This little rock
Hey, Mom,
zone.
we're entering a cave.
He's excited about it because there's kids.
Mom, we're entering a cave.
And then if you look here, they have like a little gate. A little cave gate, I guess. And there's no railing, so you have to be careful. If you have a vertigo, this might be a little much. Cool.
Like in the back of my mind, I feel like.
Good morning.
Ooh, there we go. Making our way. I just asked Miles, like, do you need a break? He's like, no. So let's go.
And then,
Miles did not want to take a break. I've asked 3 times. I want him to. Daddy wants a break. Oh, okay. We're hitting red and yellow. You cannot stop.
Okay, who was famous?
Okay, here we go. All right, guys, we are now. There's Darla, Sweet D. There's Amanda. We're walking in an area of shade, which is nice. We appreciate shade. Shade is the best. All right, here's another section here of red and yellow. We're getting ready to go. Just keep walking. I'm gonna find a little spot where we can talk because I want to tell you a little bit more about this cave. Okay, we're transitioning again from the Tintac quartzites to the Ophir formation 520 million years ago. Ophir. So, how does this work? Sweet D bought us tickets. Our time to enter the cave is at 10:30 in the morning. So they told us to be down at the visitor center to start our hike at 9:15. They said about an hour and 15 minutes probably to get up there. You have to make it up to your allotted time. So if you so the way that this works is we have tickets here. They start at 10:30. That's our entrance time. And by the way, we're on yellow, red. Can't stop. Rockfall. Our entrance time is at 10:30. So they told us to be down here at 9:15. Now, if you happen to take a lot longer to get up your time, so let's say we didn't get up there till 11 because we're really slow, that's not a problem. But they like you to try to take about 3 or so hours to get up and down to do everything. What's behind the rocks? Look at this, guys. That's kind of a little bit paranoid inducing. And we are
There's a cave close by. There's a cave on the other side.
halfway.
And that cool area is seeping through the rocks.
They've painted some little tracks here on the ground. They said follow tracks, and what you're trying to do is there's little cracks here, and if you put your hand by a crack and you can feel air coming through, then you know there's a cave on the other side of this wall.
Watch your head.
You have to watch your head here, but that's how you can tell by having a crack. If you feel air coming through that crack, the cave is on the other side. Can you feel any air coming through?
There's definitely a cave on the
Oh,
Maybe right there.
you can feel that air.
Don't touch the spider.
And you can see the air is kind of blowing that spider web, so you can tell there's a cave behind that crack. That's the valley.
Ophir to Maxfield.
All right, we found another one. Ophir Formation to Maxwell Formation limestone. That's 500 million years ago now. Oh, and that wasn't very far. And we found another one. Maxwell limestone. Now we're to, what is that, Fitchville dolomite. That's 360 million years ago.
That one was short.
It is very, very steep.
We're just downhill.
We're going through another zone that you don't stop. Rockfield. The park ranger told us that if you hear, like, sounds like lots of people clapping or somebody taking a plastic bottle and crinkling the plastic bottle, that's a rock. That means a rock slide's happening.
Okay.
Now we're going from Fitchville
So, like,
dolomite to Gardason limestone, 350 million years ago.
Like, it's a trail. Okay.
This is super steep, and we are. This is literally. There's I have a little a little thing there that tells me when the camera's straight. So that's pointing way up. But if you point the camera straight, like there, a little leveler, you can see how steep it is. Wow. And then right when you get a point where you want to take a break, you can't because you're gonna hit yellow and red. We're going along. We're stopping to take a break. It is steep. I can feel my heart.
Same.
You can? All right, so you see this canyon. It's kind of a V shape. If a canyon is a V shape, that means a river has cut through making the canyon. If the canyon's a U shape, kind of like a U, that is a glacier has gone through, that is a giant ice glacier, and it's pushed through and broke the rocks. Since this is a V canyon, we can tell that this was formed by a river. I mean, like way down there. Wow. All right, so we're hiking up this mountain, and I notice, I don't know what these are. Where are, if you see them, there's like wood. Yeah, what's that wood thing up there?
That's the entrance.
Is that the entrance? No, that looks like maybe old mining equipment. I don't know.
I think it's the cave entrance.
I think that one is.
Darla tells me that's the roof to a visitor center, and it probably is. Now we're not sure. No, we can't backtrack now, Darla.
I don't think the visitor center. I
Just
think
a
it's
little shack.
Oh, isn't that where you like sit before
Yeah,
you
you can
enter?
sit.
Oh, okay. So that's where we're going to.
Let's make bets. Whoever loses owes me a candy bar.
Okay. All right. So there it is. Looks like a little roof overhanging, but you see people walking up.
His little Netherlands sweater.
Okay, we are 3/4 of the way.
I picked out for him. He wasn't quite sure, and then he's like, "Oh yeah."
Okay, you have to be very careful.
Oh yes.
It's a steep edge there, little guy.
Yes. 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 No,
Here
I
we
feel
go.
the same way. They say that athleisure you wear in Europe is not a thing. So they do not wear their leggings.
All right, Sweet D, I'm gonna ask you a question. Would you rather eat, since we're hiking, we see animals, would you rather eat a goat or a matter baby?
What's the matter, baby?
Hey, nothing. What's the matter with you?
I felt silly.
What's the matter, baby?
She is.
We've mostly been in the shade, which has been awesome. But right now we just turned on a switchback and we're right in the sun. And you could feel the heat the second you're in the sun. But luckily, it turns, it goes into this shaded area. So we're gonna get some shade because it is hot. We're taking a little no breather. I don't know why I'm the only one breathing heavy. Everyone else is like, la da 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 da.
Oh, it's hard. It's steep.
La 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 la
Da, 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 da. But we stopped here because the next part is very steep and you can't stop on it.
Funny. It's like
All right, here we go. We're going from Gardason limestone to Deseret limestone, 340 million years ago. If you look right there, we are almost to the cave. So, the last time I did this cave, I was 16 years old. I was with a group of boys and girls. And we get into the cave. We had a tour guide. They have a tour guide. And the tour guide goes, when you're in caves, you lose your sense of direction, like north, south, east, west. She goes, Does anybody know where true north is? Can you point to it? And everybody's trying to point. And I just pointed straight up. And right as I pointed straight up, the ranger's like, there's always some idiot who points straight up. I was like, guilty. We are almost there.
Yeah, I want to go to the lake in the winter. So,
Here we are. And that's what we saw. Okay, we made it all the way to the top. This is the entrance to the cave right here. I'll show it to you. But you have to have a ranger take you in. Right there. We are 6,730 feet above sea level. Here we go. This is the entrance. And we are gonna walk through. It's 45 degrees year round, about the same temperature as a refrigerator, so we brought sweaters for it. And it's 1,800 feet long, this cave. Okay, so we're sitting, this little rest area, kind of in the cave area. We're waiting for our turn, for our group's turn to be called to go in. So they give you about an hour and a half to come up, but Miles and Sweet D and Amanda are such fast hikers that we got up here a little bit early, so we're just waiting for our turn to be called in. Then we're gonna go in the cave. Inside the cave is kind of cold, so Amanda's wearing earmuffs. Outside,
I'm ready.
you are.
I'm prepared.
Miles has got a sweatshirt. Oh, he wants earmuffs now.
Your beanie. I have a beanie.
Okay guys, we're going in, we put the sweatshirts on, we're gonna go into the cave. I'll show you everything that I can. I will not turn the light on though, it's like a flashlight people that are lighting. They do have electricity in there with lights, so.
I just introduced myself. I'm a ranger here at Timp Cave National Monument. We're about to do what I'm about to do. So we're gonna.
That's the natural entrance into the cave, that hole right there. And that's a door that we crawled through, walked through. Now we're gonna enter in. This is the first part of the cave. It's called Hansen Cave.
This cave here and show them around. This is the only room of Hansen Cave we'll be seeing today. But if you want to come back and do another tour, we do have the introduction to caving tour, which will take you further back into the mountain. Back where Martin Hansen took people down this tip, up this hill, and then back about a football field's length that way into the next chamber. So that's another introduction to caving tour for
So here, this is called Hansen. I think his name is Martin Hansen. He discovered this cave, and he did tours back in the 1800s. And then he left, and then a mining company came, and they would cut rocks out. There wasn't anything valuable, and then they ended up cutting a hole here. There's a door here to extend the cave. But the problem when they did that is that it caused the wind to come through, and it dried out the cave. So they have to have all these doors in here, and you have to open and close them, so that way there's no wind in the cave. All right, so we are going to the next section. They have another door we have to close to make sure no wind goes through.
Miles already got dripped on twice.
Oh, and they say if the cave drips on you, it's good luck. It's very dark, but we're walking through this cave, and it's steep. And I'm hunched over, so I'm gonna hit my head.
Got everybody? Looks like it. Cool. So now we are all eventually the spring left, and you're just left with a hole without any air in it. The mountain continued to erode away outside, just as it does today. Rocks falling all over the place. Eventually enough rocks fell away, and the mountain eroded away enough that it opened up the space and gave us air. Air is pretty important in the chemical reaction. We're gonna do something like this. All of this white material, brown material that you see around the place, pretty much anything that's not this black limestone. So, how do these formations work? Well,
This is actually, that's water. So it's just like the little lake, and it slowly dissipates, but that is water. Now this next section we have to go through is very low, and you have to scooch way down. This is for, you don't want your backpacks to touch.
Oh, look how cool this is, Miles. Secret passageway.
It's very narrow, Walking through this very narrow. Wow. This is a little bit of a tight fit.
It's a little bit of a tight squeeze. Look how cool that is up there.
We're walking through. This is actually the fault line. We're walking through it. You can look up. See, a rock is like stuck right there. That's a little scary. Okay. And it is narrow.
These ones are the ones I do not like.
What, you don't like these ones?
No, like these little popcorn guys.
Sure, wait, put the light on so I can see it.
These little popcorn guys.
Why don't you like him?
They're like, ooh, you're kind of like, ooh.
Give the little heebie-jeebies.
Look how good, like, it looks gooky to me.
It is close.
I like the smooth formations.
And the cave drips, so be careful, yeah.
Getting kissed on.
Yeah, a couple times, I like it.
Very good luck.
All right. Oh, wow, that was fun.
Cool, guys. So that brings us to the year 1921. So, in 1921, there were a couple of fellows across the canyon particularly.
Oh, could you do that one more time? That was awesome.
That show light hasn't worked at all this year. I don't know what's wrong.
That's really cool.
All right.
It's pretty.
This is where I like to talk about the differences in that calcium carbonate. When it comes in here, it kind of forms into a crystal. Now, it's not a true crystal, but it can come down and form crystal shapes.
All right, so now we're going through another part of the cave. I learned the coolest story there, and I'll tell you once we get outside about these guys, how they explored and found it. And this rope, it's amazing, but when I get outside, I'll tell you that story. We've got little lights here. These are these doors, they have to have them closed so the wind won't go through. There we are. Oh, careful, don't buck your head there, Darla. Okay, it goes way down there. And you have to be careful because people hit their head on that a lot, the ranger said. So you gotta walk around. Look up there. It's hard to capture this on a camera. I'm not good enough of a cameraman to show you how cool it is, but it's amazing. It goes up there. It's so dark, you can't see anything. At one point, they turned all the lights off, guys, and it was so dark, your eyes can't adjust to it because your eyes have to have a little bit of light to adjust. So I have to shimmy through here. So it was pitch black and you'd hold your hand in front of your face and you couldn't see it. Oh, it's narrow. I don't want to touch anything.
There, do me a favor. So on this little ledge right here, you will see an electrical box, and on that electrical box, you will see a bunch of buttons. Please hit the 3 big black buttons. There we go. Cool. So now we have lights. So
Whoa.
welcome into Timpanogos Cave and the Great Heart of Timpanogos here. Famous formation. If you weren't aware of it, people come here just to see this one. So very large formation, not the largest that we have, but it is one of the largest free hanging.
Looks like a heart.
Based on what we know about the density of this rock, probably weighs around 2 tons. So there's a big elephant hanging from the ceiling there. Now the heart's all well and good, and I really like the heart, but I think there's something cool in this room too, that I'll show you here in a second.
See that green? He shines his flashlight. It's green.
Cool.
That's the calcium.
Yep, so there is a mineral in here. Well, actually a metal. So as that calcium carbonate is forming in here, the water is traveling its way through the mountain. And as it travels its way through the mountain, it picks up various things. In this case, nickel. Cool.
That's
Looks
called the
there's a
heart
ranger
of
out there to
Timpanogos.
guide you on it.
And
So
it weighs
follow her directions.
4,000 pounds. And the green that we saw in the mountain, that's nickel. That's nickel.
As far as I'm aware, we've never had it for option.
Okay.
Although it would be cool.
Oh, look at that.
Our cave is a little bit sensitive to the CO2 we breathe out, though. So, purplish brown, and also above me on the stairs over here. Purplish brown up there. That comes from a metal called manganese. Manganese is used for all sorts of stuff, fertilizer, paints. But it's also used as an alloy for making stainless steel.
Miles has been asked to lead us, so we're gonna go.
Oh, I just got kissed.
Oh, by the cave or somebody? Okay, so, yep, go right up those stairs to the next flat spot. There's a lot of stairs.
Oh, Miles. Yeah, this is
Pretend
cool.
that you're the first person that's ever been in this cave.
You are doing it, little guy. You're brave and strong. There is a handrail, and if you touch it, it's wet because of the moisture in the cave. Yep, I think right here.
Anyway, that brings us to 1913. So, in 1913, there were a couple of 14-year-old boys over at Hansen Cave. Their names were Franky Johnson and James Goff. They were over there doing a little self-guided tour with their families. And being 14-year-old boys, they didn't think that hanging out with their family was super cool, so they decided to leave and go explore on their own. As they were exploring the cliffs around outside, they got a little lost, so they started backtracking, and as they backtracked along the edges of the cliffs, they found the natural entrance to this cave, which I'll show you when we get there. It'll be a while. So they climbed into the hole and then realized that it was a bit too technical, a bit too complicated for them to do on their own. So, in fear of getting lost, they decided to go back to Hansen Cave and grab their families and come back. And the families came in here and explored this place. So,
Right now, right where the ranger is, we are in the deepest part of the cave. We are 400 feet underneath the mountain. So I have to be very careful going through here.
There's a reason we call it that.
Oh, and this is called Dinosaur Head. It's called Dinosaur Head. It hangs right there. It does look like a little dinosaur head hanging down. Wow.
Yeah, so we'll hang out here for a second, wait for people to pull up, and then we'll move over.
Okay, it's beautiful. It's kind of weird to think that we're 400 feet from the underneath the peak of the mountain. This is like the we were just saying.
Since you mentioned it, we can hang out here for a minute. I'll tell you a little bit of the story. I love this cave and I love telling stories, so I'll give you that. Do we got most everybody
Almost
making their way
touching.
down the stairs? Cool.
It's estimated it'll take 200 years for those to touch.
I know.
Walking through a cave.
Yeah.
We'll pool in this general area again.
Oh, sweet.
Through this low spot. This is the lowest spot over here. And any
We're gonna go through the lowest part of the cave. It's called 13 stitches because people keep whacking their head on it. So be very careful.
You're cave size, so I'm not too worried about you. I will have you do me a little junior ranger favor here in a second if you want to. me do my job for him, so.
Okay.
I'll let you know about it when we get there. And then you can decide.
It's cold down here.
What's your name, by the way? Miles, very nice to like.
Wow.
I know, it's unreal.
So Miles, I'm gonna have you do.
Yeah, so limbo to get this.
And what I want you to do for me is I want you to hold my flashlight pointed at this hole. And if people walk by, we're gonna say that it's the natural entrance to Tiptoes. Sound good? So I'll open this door, edge my flashlight, and we'll point it at this hole.
Miles has got up ahead to help out.
Oh, I see light.
Oh,
This will open for everybody. And we're gonna stand right here. And you're gonna take my flashlight.
Sweet.
good job, Miles. Okay. What is that?
The natural entrance to this cave.
That's the natural entrance to the cave. Oh my gosh, you guys. Now we're outside and it's warm outside. It's freezing in there. If you ever come here, you can see that Miles signed it. He signed it, Miles Provost. All right, so I'm gonna tell you this. That was so fun. So we exited out of a different place. We're gonna be going down here and then walking back down the trail. But I have to tell you about this amazing story. So there's like 3 kind of natural caves here. The one was found by the 14-year-old boys, but the middle one was found. These guys found this hole, and they got some ideas, and they chucked some rocks down the hole, and they'd listen for when the rock would hit. And when the rock hit, it's really estimated, like, oh, that sounds like about 50 feet deep. They were way off. So I went back, they got a bunch of ropes and a bunch of people, and they came back and they started shimmying down the rope. Not with like a harness or literally just going down the rope. The rope was 75 feet long. They got to the bottom, the end of the rope, it's 75 feet. It's pitch black, and they weren't at the bottom. They couldn't tell how much further it was. But they had a little candle, and they could see like a little crevasse right there. And it was so narrow that they kind of like swung into that area, and then they pushed their back against the wall and shimmied down the rest of the way down the cave. And it's about 110 to 120 feet down. So they were way off by the estimation of 50 feet. And then they were down there, and then in order for them to get back out, they shimmied back up that little crevasse thing, and then they got the rope and they climbed up the rope. Amazing. You guys, we almost just lost Sweet D. We're gonna pose right here by this photo, and she literally stood. That's the edge, like a cliff, and she just starts backing up, and I'm like, Darla. It's like, what are you doing? She's like, get in the photo. I'm like, you are almost. She was like, it was like, I can't believe
That was a close one.
that was so close. All right, let's head back, guys. Let's head back. Just real quickly, I hope it's not too windy for this.
Oh, anyway. No, I know.
I'm gonna find a better spot. I need to talk to you guys. Hang on, let me find a better spot. It's not so windy. We're just kind of walking back down. I gotta find a little spot. Whoa, that's a really good view.
Yeah, because you had.
Look how high we are, guys. There, that's the ledge we saw. That's the entrance to the cave that you go into. And we walk all the way through the cave, back out that little entrance there. Now we're gonna walk down this trail. All the way back down. All right, so we're walking down, and it is steep. For those of you maybe who never had the experience to go up such a steep incline or decline, let me explain this to you. Everybody thinks it's much easier going down. It's harder. Walking up, it's a pain, right? Because you're going against gravity and it feels heavy. But it's easier on your body, particularly your joints, and like your, in particular, like your knees. When you go down, you have to take tiny, tiny steps because you get this urge. Gravity just wants to pull you and make you walk fast. But then you start doing those loping strides, boom, boom, really hard on the knees. So you got to take tiny, tiny, tiny steps going down. And it's a little bit more difficult. Miles just made a good point though. He says, yeah, but at least when going down, you don't feel as tired. That's true. So it is, there is that, but that's a little harder on the knees. We haven't slowed down. We've just been walking. Like coming up, we took lots of breaks, but look, there's that little cave we had to walk through. And we're just walking along. All right, guys, we made it all the way back down to the very bottom, and I just want to take a quick moment to talk to you. And I am talking to you. That Timpanogos cave was absolutely amazing, and it was wonderful. But do you know what's more wonderful? You. You are 100%. You make the world a better place. I hope you know that, and I appreciate you. And I appreciate the fact that you let me take you up there and show you around Timpanogos Cave and hang out with me and see that. But I want you to know how amazing you are. You make the world a better place, and I appreciate all the effort that you're doing. I know that sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's difficult, and sometimes things are going, and when you're in that sad, like if you get depressed or sad or things aren't going the way they want them to, it feels like it's never going to end. It does, it gets better. I want you to know that. You do not have the right to quit because it gets better, because you are worth it. Of course, you got to end at the gift shop. Thank you. Let's see what they have here. Timpanogos Cave. Tika. All right, so just so you guys know, Timpanogos Cave is a national monument. Now there are national parks, and you might think, well, what's the difference between a national park and a national monument? A national park has to be approved by Congress. It has to go through, Congress has to sign a bill. A national monument can be approved just by the president. There's a thing called the Antiquities Act, and they can go in and sign that. So this was signed, and the president says it should be a national monument. It's not a park, it's a national monument. So that's the difference.
I'm glad you clarified.
There you go.